You know that feeling, right? You're stuck. Horns are blaring, the engine's just idling, and you are going absolutely nowhere. It's the daily reality for so many of us in India. We all feel that frustration, the lost time, the stress. But what if the true cost of this daily grind goes way deeper than just a bad mood or being late for something? Let's uncover the hidden price we're all paying.
I mean, look at this. We see scenes like this every single day. These rivers of cars and bikes just clogging our streets, fighting for every single inch of space. And we've gotten so used to it, we might even think it's normal. But here's the thing. This isn't just traffic. It's a symptom of a much, much bigger problem. A national crisis with enormous hidden costs that hit our wallets, our cities, and, well, ultimately, our lives.
So let's start with the most obvious problem, the one we see and feel every day. The gridlock itself. Just think of our roads as the arteries of our cities. And right now, they are dangerously clogged. And it is getting worse every single year.
And you know, this isn't just a feeling we have, it's a hard fact. The How India Moves report shows that the commute that used to take, say, 30 minutes, yeah, that's now an hour. And the whole idea of a rush hour is kind of becoming a joke because our cities are just in a constant state of gridlock, all day, every day.
And here is the root of the problem. Just look at that jump. In less than a decade, the sheer number of vehicles crammed onto our roads has just exploded. We're packing more and more cars and bikes onto the exact same amount of road, and our cities are literally choking on it.
Okay, so we all see the congestion. It's impossible to miss. But what is causing this relentless flood of new vehicles? What's the invisible incentive that keeps putting more and more cars on the road, even when it feels completely insane? Well, the answer might actually surprise you.
That invisible force, it's something we barely think about, but it is one of the most powerful things shaping our cities: parking. Or more specifically, the total paradox of free parking.
Okay, so here's how it works. We've built a system that actively, powerfully encourages everyone to drive. By making parking free or just ridiculously cheap, we create this huge artificial demand for road space. So what happens? People just circle blocks, hunting for that one free spot, which, of course, creates even more traffic. All the while, the paid parking garages, the ones built for this purpose, often sit half empty. It's a total lose-lose situation. And here is the truly wild part. For all the chaos and traffic they cause, our cars are barely even moving. A car spends about 95% of its entire life parked, just sitting there, taking up space. Let that sink in. We have designed our cities around an object that does absolutely nothing for 23 hours a day.
And this chart right here, this is why the demand is so crazy high. An unbelievable 98% of on-street parking in India is totally free. And think about it, when anything is free, we tend to overuse it, right? Well, that is exactly what's happened to our public roads. They've basically been turned into a free storage lot for private property. And the result is, well, it's staggering. Take a city like Jaipur. More than half of all the roads, the very arteries that are supposed to be for moving, are permanently clogged with parked cars. And this isn't some outlier. It's a pattern you see in cities all across the country, from Delhi to Pune to Ahmedabad.
This quote from the Institute for Transportation and Development Policy really says it all. This thing we think of as a harmless perk, free parking, is actually a blight on our cities. It creates congestion, it eats up public space, but the cost goes so much further than just inconvenience. It gets much, much more serious.
Because all this congestion, all these vehicles jammed together, competing for space, it leads to the most tragic cost of all, the human price that is paid on India's roads every single day.
Just let that number sink in. 485. That is not a yearly total, it's not a monthly total. That is the number of mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters who don't come home every single day in India. It's a public health crisis on a scale that is almost impossible to comprehend.
And to put this into perspective, globally, India ranks #1 in road accident fatalities. #1. I mean, just look at the comparison. China, the most populous country in the world, has just over a third of our road deaths. The United States, a nation obsessed with cars, has only a quarter of our fatalities. We are tragically leading the world in this horrible, horrible statistic.
So, who are we losing? It's not a random mix of people. The data is just heartbreakingly clear. 2/3 of the victims are between 18 and 45 years old. Over 83% are in their prime working years. We are losing the very people who are building our nation's future.
You know, this is so much more than just data on a chart.
Researchers have a term for it, civic pain. It's like a collective wound on our entire society, caused by the constant, preventable loss of our youngest and most productive citizens. It's a silent epidemic that, somehow, we've just learned to live with.
So let's bring it all together now. The traffic, the parking mess, the tragic loss of life. What is the total bill that our society pays for this broken system? The number is truly massive.
A study for the Ministry of Road Transport found that the socio-economic cost of road crashes drains 3.14% of our GDP every single year. That is a gigantic economic anchor dragging down our national growth. That's money that could be going to schools, to hospitals, to better infrastructure.
And this cost comes in two ways. First, you have the direct costs you can see, right? Hospital bills, car repairs, emergency services. But the indirect costs, the ones we don't always see, they're even bigger. We're talking about lost productivity from those killed or disabled, the long-term burden on families who lose their main earner, and just the overall drag on our economy's potential.
So, when you put it all together, the true cost is devastating. It's physical, with nearly 500,000 people injured every year. It's mental, with traumatic brain injuries causing lifelong problems. It's social, as we pave over our parks and green spaces to make more parking lots. And it is deeply, deeply economic, costing us billions. This is the real price tag of our daily commute.
It's a really bleak picture, I know, but it is not hopeless. These problems we're facing were created by policy choices, which means they can be fixed by making better ones. There is a new road ahead if we just have the courage to take it.
You know, the path forward really boils down to 3 key steps. First, we have to price what we value. Our road space in city centers is incredibly valuable. So like London and Singapore have done, we can use congestion pricing to manage demand. Second, we have to manage our parking space with prices that actually reflect demand and finally end this free-for-all blight. And third, and this is crucial, we take that money and invest it where it truly matters, in a world-class public transport system that people want to use.
And as we rethink our roads, we have to remember this powerful metaphor. At the very heart of the danger is speed. Things like calmer traffic, better designed streets, stricter enforcement, these things aren't anti-car, they are pro-life. They're about silencing that tragic orchestra of road crashes for good.
So this is really the fundamental question we have to ask ourselves. For decades, we have prioritized one thing above all else, the movement and storage of vehicles. And the result is what we have now: congestion, pollution, and a heartbreaking loss of life. Our cities are at a breaking point. The time has come to decide if we're finally ready to redesign them for people, not just for cars.